Hello, welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a lamp. Now you might be asking yourself, well, if we're making a lamp, why has it got a flat tray there? Well, I'm going to show you how to turn this flat tray into a cylindrical lamp and put a light inside it as well so you can use it. Now what I'm going to be doing is, I love this bubble wrap method, and check out the video where I make jewellery out of bubble wrap. It works really well, and it's very easy to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a honeycomb out of the bubble wrap, pop it inside this tray, then fill it up, and then turn it into a lamp. This is all ready now to be poured on. I've mixed up my resin, and what I've used is some blue mica powder and some blue glitter, because of course why wouldn't I put some glitter in it? And I've not made it too opaque, but it isn't quite translucent. You'll see what I mean at the end. So what I now need to do is I just now need to pour this over the bubble wrap. And then what I do is I take a spatula like this and I scrape it off the actual top of the bubbles, and it makes it much easier later on to do the second part. And I'll scrape all this to the sides. And by scraping it like this, what you've got is you're automatically creating the little holes that you need as well. And it just makes it much easier and neater and tidier, clear up, and to get ready for the next stage. So what I'll do now is I'll leave that for about 24 hours and then I will demold it. I'll come back and I'll show you what I do next. This is cured now, and it's been curing overnight, and so it's only been curing about 18 hours. It should still be a little bit flexible, which is what we want it to be so we don't break it. And it should just pull off the resin like so, because I did spray this bubble wrap with a little bit of mold release as well. I always do, because it just makes life so much easier. So that's come out quite well. Now there are a couple here where the bubbles weren't actually inflated. They'd obviously got deflated. So there is a few here that just need to be opened up to give you the full honeycomb effect. And that's not too difficult to do. All I will do is I will go in with my Dremel and drill these out before I start to do anything. Just use that piece on my Dremel there. Remember, always wear a mask whenever you're sanding or doing anything with resin. That's gonna fit in there like so, but I don't want it to fit right up to the edges. I do want it to sit in there so it's kind of like to there on the edges, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna now go ahead and trim this up. It's really easy to trim up. I'm just gonna use a normal pair of scissors, and this is still quite soft. And I'm just going to go along here and trim this up. And because it's still quite soft, it will trim up nice and easily. That fits in there nicely now. I'm quite happy with that. So what I need to do before I go any further is, I know that that's going to be my face of the lamp, because that's the sparkly bit. I don't know if you can see the sparkle in there. Sparkly. I just need to now clean this out, put a little bit of resin in there, and then pop this in as in roughly where I want it. I've mixed the resin up now, so I'm ready to put some resin in this. And don't forget, when you're putting the resin in, you only want enough to cover evenly this base, and you don't want too much because it's really just to stick the actual honeycomb down. So let's give this a good going over into all the corners so we can make sure that there's no trap bubbles in the corners. And how I make sure that there's no trap bubbles is I just take these little micro brushes and I will just go around the edges. Now these aren't going to damage your mold, but what they will do is they will get rid of any little bubbles that you can see. The other thing that does is, because any bubbles that are trapped in these edges will obviously leave little holes, and you don't want little holes. You've made holes, you don't want any more unnecessary holes. And there's about 1.5 to 2 millimeters of resin in this mold now, which is enough to cover this base. And what I will do is I will leave this to cure up now for probably about 6 to 8 hours before I then go ahead and pop in the honeycomb. And you'll be thinking to yourselves, I'm sure, well, how is he going to turn that into a circle or into a round shape to make a lamp with it? And what I will do is, as soon as this is cured, I will show you how I'm going to do that. This has been curing now for about 6 hours, and I'm ready to put this in. And now it's still quite soft, and this is the side that's got the glitter in. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up, but it's really quite pretty and glittery. So I need it to go down with the glittery side going down, and I don't want to push this too hard because I don't want it to sink in completely, but I just want it enough to seal all the little bits so that I can then fill them up before I do the next stage. Really, this is just a large scale on what I did for the jewellery, and if you haven't seen the jewellery video, which makes beautiful jewellery, then check that out. I'll link it at the end of this. Now, I've definitely got a border around there, which is excellent because that is what I want. I want a border around the edge. Caught that right at the right time, which is so unlike me. I'm going to let this cure overnight now, and then what I will do is I will show you what I do next. This is all cured now, so I need to do the next stage, which is fill in the little honeycomb bit. And then anybody that knows me will not be at all surprised that the colour that I'm going to be using in this is going to be a translucent yellow. So I've got my resin mixed up now, and I'm using a translucent yellow, as I said, and I've popped a tiny bit of glitter in there as well, and I'll be using some pipette to fill these up. It's ever so easy. All I do is wipe the pipette and then I fill up each one, trying not to let it overspill into the other areas, and I'll just go round and I'll fill all these up like this till they're all done. And then I will probably do the outside edge in a slightly different colour or a very different colour. I haven't decided yet. Oh, just to let you know, I've started a blog now. It's called Steve's-Arts and Crafts. Check it out. I'll put the link to it in the description below. I would really appreciate you taking a look, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. These are all filled in now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edge. I'm going to be using what's called a smoky quartz. I have no idea what colour that is. I wish they put the actual colours on the bottle. Because of being colourblind, I have no idea. Mixed up my smoky quartz. Now I'm just going to pop that all around the edge. There we go, that's now ready to be covered up, and once it's covered up I will leave that now until tomorrow, and then once that's cured tomorrow, what I'll do is I will put the next layer on, the very last layer, and then once that's ready I'll show you how to turn it into a beautiful lamp. This is ready now to have its final coat of resin on, and then once that's cured up I will show you how to bend it into a cylinder and turn it into a lamp. So I've mixed up my resin now. I've popped a little bit of white glitter in it. Now, white glitter does disappear in resin, and I'm quite happy with that. I just want it to be in there just to give it a little bit of sparkle as the light hits it. And this is a really simple process. I don't want this too thick, because if you have it too thick, then it makes it a little bit more difficult to bend. All I'm doing is I'm adding in enough just to give it like a top coat, making sure that I go round all the edges to ensure that I've got resin everywhere with my little silicone brush. I will link this in the description. So that should be enough now. What we'll do is I will cover this up. I will check it for bubbles in about 5 or 6 minutes time. Just go over it with my long neck lighter. As soon as this is cured, what I'll do is I'll show you how to mold this into a cylinder. So this is now ready to turn into an actual lamp. And what I've got is I've got this base that lights up. I will link everything in the description, and I want to put this so it goes round this base. I wanted to heat this up so that it would be quite flexible to allow me to turn it into the shape that I want. And how I've done that is I've just put that on top of a warm radiator for about half an hour, and it's made it nice and flexible again to be able to mold this into the correct shape. So all I need to do is pop it out the mold. And that's the side that I want to be exposed, because obviously that's the side with all the glitter in. Oh, look at all that sparkly glitter. So I'm just going to take my lamp base and mould this around it until I'm quite happy with the actual shape, like so. And then I'm going to hold it together once I've kind of moulded it like that, with some tape. Look at it springing back. It wants to be in that shape. And you've still got plenty of time. You've got about 5 minutes before it sets up completely. And as you're tweaking it a little bit, you can just tighten up your tape. That's that finished now, and I'm really pleased with how that's come out, and it's such an easy way to be able to make a really nice lamp, and it's quite glittery as well. So let me show you what it looks like lit up, and it lights up really, really well. It gives out quite a nice light. It would be ideal for a little cozy night lamp or really just a mood lamp. And the great thing is, if you want to do all different types of shades, you can just take this out and do another shade that matches, and then just pop it over the top and it sits wherever you want it. And I'm sure you could sell these quite easily. I will put the link to the wooden LED light in the description, and to everything else that I've used as well to make this lamp. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Check out my members only area. It's a brilliant area. It's grown really well. We have a really good community there, and we have live streams as well where we ask lots of questions and do different projects. We help each other, and there's also lots of other perks as well, additional videos and support. And if you fancy buying me a coffee just to say thank you, then the link is in the description of this video below. Thank you very much. Take care. Check out the video that's coming up next. I look forward to seeing you in that. Enjoy your resin. Bye.